On the show today, meet a Liberty University alum who's making a life-changing impact 1 pound at a time.
Plus, we name our Warm, Hot, and Fuego Male Athletes of the Year and bring you the top plays for the month of May.
It's all ahead. Game On starts right now. What is up? Welcome into a brand new Game On. Thanks so much for joining us. The usual cast of characters here. He's Rhett. I'm Matt. Bobby Bolig will be stopping by in just a bit.
You know, the hot weather in many parts of the country kind of signaling that summer is almost here. But for Liberty Baseball, they were trying to delay their summer break as long as possible. They were battling in the Big South Championship Tournament this past weekend.
Yeah, they were trying to stay alive, and they met an old rival in Radford in an elimination game in the conference tourney. And with this being Liberty's last go-around in the Big South, it was fitting they would meet the Highlanders. Remember, the two schools had already met earlier this year in both the basketball championship and the softball championship, with the schools splitting those games. So let's go ahead and call this one the tiebreaker, huh? It would be a thriller. The Flames would get on the board in the first inning. They would break through, or rather in the second inning, thanks to a 70-foot squeeze bunt from Dylan Allen. Perhaps not how he drew it up, but it was effective. Got the run home. The Flames went on top 1-0. But Radford would tie it in the fifth and then took the lead in the sixth. John Embry unable to hang on to this one while he was trying to apply the tag. Now, fortunately, Embry would get a chance to redeem himself, and he would take advantage of that opportunity. In the eighth inning, he ties it up with an RBI single, and we would be all knotted up at 2 after 9 innings. So let's play some extra baseball, shall we? Bottom of the 10th, Tyler Gallazin got what he was looking for, and he did not miss. A walk-off winner for the Flames kept their season alive and sent the Highlanders home in their final meeting as conference foes.
So that meant Liberty would have to defeat Campbell twice in order to make it to the Big South Championship game. After knocking them off earlier in the day 10-5, Liberty would need to defeat them once again in a conference-mandated 7-inning game. We head to the third, 2 men on, and the Camels' Christian Jones would put a little smoke on this one, sending it over the left field wall to give Campbell a 3-1 lead. Top of the fifth, Flames' Carricker would send a solo shot, his second of the year, cutting the deficit to just 2. Still in that inning, Embry would line a triple off the wall, bringing home Heifel to cut the deficit to just 1. 7th inning, Flames down 6-3. DJ Artis, he would hit this ball to center. It would carry and carry a little more, but then eventually be caught at the wall. Flames would eventually get one more, but that wouldn't be enough as Campbell takes it 6-4, and they're moving on to the championship game. A tough and emotional loss for this Liberty group who battled throughout the year.
This day is always the worst day because, you know, that group of 32 guys there is never probably going to be together in the same room, you know, maybe ever again. And so, you know, you don't want it to end and you don't want it to go away. And, you know, it's the way our guys fought back with 4 elimination games. Man, I couldn't be more proud to be their coach.
I've felt this way 3 years in a row now, so it's very sad, you know, just knowing that was your last time playing with all your buddies, like as a whole, this special group of guys. And that's our last time ever doing that. It's pretty sad, and it's definitely something special here at Liberty.
Well, it's sad, certainly, when you think about the guys that are moving on. DJ Artis, you just saw, they're likely to be drafted here this next week, so he'll probably be moving on. You had a lot of good offensive players this year that really broke out. You had a guy like Tyler Gallazin, who we saw a moment ago, first year with the Flames, had a great year. Trey Todd, first year with the Flames, probably going to get drafted as well. So offensively, you had a lot of guys step up, just some mediocrity on the pitching side of things, which really wasn't all their fault this year.
Yeah, you're saying that. There are 3 significant injuries to the pitching staff to start off the year, and this is a group that battled throughout the season. And I think
a young group.
Yeah, for them to come in 3rd in the conference at the end of the regular season, that's pretty impressive in itself.
Absolutely, and those arms coming back, so they're going to be good in their first year in the A-Sun as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time for sure. Well, with track and field season edging closer and closer to nationals in Eugene, Oregon, a few more Flames punched their ticket to the West Coast. Denzel Pratt set a season best of 228 feet and 4 inches on his 3rd and final javelin throw. It was a close call for him as wet conditions were kind of nasty there at the qualifier. Daryl Jones measured a 51.9 in the men's triple jump, placing him 10th among the 12 Eugene qualifiers. Daciana Larson dropping the hammer once again, this time reaching 203 feet 10 inches, placing her right in the middle of the pack at Eugene. Joining them there also will be Marcus Balangi, the decathlon, and also the best name in the business, Alejandro Perlaza Zapata. Zapata has just an amazing record-breaking season this year, so it comes no surprise that the Olympian will be competing in the men's 400 in Eugene. He is the first Flame to compete in the 400 at the championships since Mike Decker in 2001.
Well, as you should know by now, these are the final days for Liberty Athletics in the Big South Conference. They will officially be joining the A-Sun later this summer. But before the Flames put the Big South in their rearview mirror, they first snagged a nice piece of hardware. Liberty has earned the 2018 Sasser Cup, given to the top athletic department in the Big South Conference. The Flames were helped by their 7 conference titles this year. This marks the 3rd straight year they've won the award and the 14th time overall. Now here's how the final standings broke down. The Flames edging out Campbell and High Point to win the award. After the top 3, a pretty big drop-off with Presbyterian rounding out the field. Liberty will now turn its sights to next year, where they will have the opportunity to compete for the Bill Bibb Trophy as a member of the A-Sun.
Absolutely thrilled now to be joined by Bobby Bolig. And Bobby, we usually talk about athletes competing in their sport, but this story more about the person behind the athletes.
And right, sometimes we don't talk about that influence enough. Yeah. But this week I got the chance to meet a man who has helped people, numerous people in the Lynchburg community, discover the athlete within that they never knew they had.
I get to the gym about 4:45 or 4:40. I get up because I know that person needs me at 5 a.m. They need me at 6 a.m. And if I don't show up, they have no accountability. And that could be their make or break decision for that day.
I am 71. I will be 72 in August. You know, I look around and I see people that are my age that have trouble getting around in the shopping centers. They can't get out of their cars, and I just didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to grow like that, and I was headed that way.
My whole family's in the medical profession. You know, I have a lot of nurses, great uncles, orthopedic surgeon. My dad's a doctor, and he wanted me to be a doctor. I was his youngest son, and no one else except for my sister went to the medical field. I was going to go to med school, decided not to, and I was personal training and took a year off, and realized how much I loved it, how much lives I could change, and before they had to go to the doctor.
Row back, but don't squat, then squat.
You know, I think it was with one of my first big weight loss clients that I had prayed for.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to Thomas Road.
And I knew who he was, and I saw him up on stage. I'd prayed for him many times, and he ended up giving me a call randomly, out of the blue. And I didn't push him, I didn't ask him, and that was all God. There's no other way around it.
427 pounds. I had been a heavy boy before, but I had never been that size, and I had never been that size at 46, 47 years old. My chains are gone. I've been set free.
I had several instances like that, of people I never came in contact with, and I knew who they were, and I prayed for them, and they came in to see me, and they've lost hundreds of pounds. You know, they would have been at a doctor soon if they hadn't seen me, and they saved all of that time, all of that money, all of the energy of going to a doctor. Sometimes they can't even get fixed. A lot of things are irreversible. Type 2 diabetes and strokes. I could be more of a help doing this beforehand, and then I could go into medical school and helping them after.
I used to think when we first started this, you know, why am I doing this weightlifting? Why am I doing this strength training? You know, I need a little cardio. I don't need all this strength training. And this is not easy. This is not easy, but it's very rewarding and it's very worthwhile.
Is this the punishment room?
Face that way.
Is this the fun room?
So I have all sorts of names for him. Lucifer is a good one. I call this Lucifer's lair, you know, and he calls it the house of gain. I call it the house of pain. But Ben has been more than a trainer. Ben has become my friend. And that's important. That's important.
You know, he said that no one else would take a chance with him. And he came to me. I didn't turn him down. I didn't say, you know, you're too old to be in here, or you have too many health issues. And I said, you know, let's do it. I remember my first day in the gym.
What were you, 3?
You know, it's as much of a stress reliever to see Steve as it is for him to see me.
260 pounds for 15 reps.
When I pour into someone else, it's going to be pouring back into me. And it really does give me joy when I see those weight loss goals and different targets that are hit. I mean, that really keeps me going, and it makes me more joyful than anything.
Well, it's pretty cool. I actually used to have some classes with Ben when I was here at Liberty, and it's neat to think that a guy I used to, you know, sit across the aisle from is now impacting people's lives so significantly.
And another cool part was that in the age, I feel like everyone wants to lose another pound. I think the thing that separates Ben's story from the others is that, you know, he's so much about building the inner person, and that the outer person will just come afterwards. So I think that was the biggest thing I caught from Ben and his story.
Fantastic story. Fantastic to see how he is working through Christ and his passion. Matt, back over to you.
Thank you, guys. Hey, coming up, he left the worldwide leader in sports to chart his own path, one with Christ at the center. And Rhett names his top 3 male athletes of the year in a special Warm, Hot, and Fuego. Stay with us.
We've built so many new academic buildings and built a new lawn and torn down all the old temporary buildings that were built in the 70s and early 80s. And when we finished all those new buildings, something seemed to me like it was missing. It felt like there needed to be some focal point, some landmark that everyone thought about when they think of Liberty University's campus. We finally all decided that a tower was the best way to accomplish that goal. And we decided to put the School of Divinity in that tower. So the premier structure on campus, the landmark structure, will also be the home to the School of Divinity that really is sort of the roots of Liberty University. We started mainly as a Bible college, so we're honoring that past, and it's a good way to end it up.
You know, there are students that have been on this campus long enough where they've really never seen that central area without construction, because we've been working on so much stuff right in that middle area. And when we got the School of Music basically done, and science and library, we at least had that square that we could give back to the students and say, look, we're done, this is yours, we're never going back in there. And then we got the residential lawn down by the dorms, we got that done. And then to have the tower completed, now we'll have this beautiful interior core that we can basically let the students and our visitors and our staff enjoy. And we can be working on the outside, but they kind of have this center area that they know that we don't have to go back in and disrupt them anymore. It's been a real big part of the master plan.
Liberty University is deeply grateful to the Rawlings family for this incredible investment. It's, I think, the perfect capstone to everything else we've done.
Since 1971, Liberty's had one mission: training champions for Christ. Our standard is excellence with integrity, and we want to equip you with the resources you need to achieve your personal and career goals. We, the business leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries of Liberty University, are committed to becoming leaders of distinction because we are men and women who want to serve others and change the world for Christ. You'll find opportunities for competitive fellowships while developing the business ethics, knowledge, and experience that top companies are looking for. Choose from over 50 degree programs such as business administration, marketing, and information technology. At Liberty, you'll become more than just an accountant, executive, or cybersecurity analyst. You'll become a champion for Christ.
Hey there, welcome back to the show. You know, preparation is a good thing. It's smart to prepare for everything we can in this life, but true wisdom understands that we are most fulfilled when our plans are secondary to God's plans. Jason Romano has learned this in his own life as God called him to leave his position at ESPN to undertake a new challenge, one that points people back to the God who's in control.
To wrap it up for today, guys, please get a shot of Jason Romano for us on TV. So today is the last day, not only with us, but at ESPN for someone who's been here just about as long as we have. He is a person who has a great passion for sports, but he has an even greater passion for his faith, and he is following that
I'll tell you
in
what,
his next professional endeavor.
Incredible person that can leave what he's done for so long because he feels he has another calling. So, Jason, tip of the cap to you. You've been a real asset to this company, no doubt about it.
We never really know what God's plan is in our life until we look back. We can say this is God's plan to go here, or this is God's plan to go there. I feel like I'm being called to do this, and I can say that too. I feel like I'm being called to do more for God. But it's not until we do it and we walk the walk and then we look back on our life and we say, oh my goodness, how perfect is that? I grew up in a small town outside of Albany, New York called Ravenna, and I always wanted to do sports of some sort. Loved playing it, loved watching it. Soon as I got to high school, I understood that you could actually do this as a career in broadcasting. So I became very interested in doing whatever I could to get a job in sports broadcasting. I wanted to be on the radio, I wanted to be on TV, I wanted to do sports, I wanted to be Howard Cosell. You know, I wanted to be that guy. So I went to college specifically for that. And I learned as much as I could, did as much as I could. And then when I got out of college, I got my first job in local radio as a producer. And I quickly realized that my career path was probably not going to be on air. And then ESPN happened. I remember the very first day I walked into that building in Bristol, Connecticut, and I was the biggest kid in the biggest toy store, the biggest candy store you could ever imagine. Look at that's Dan Patrick, and that's Keith Olbermann, and that's Chris Berman. Look at Stuart Scott. Oh my gosh, look where I am. 3 days into my job at ESPN, the booker from Mike and Mike in the morning leaves. And they said, well, why don't you would you want to take a crack at working on the morning show and booking guests for them? And I said, yeah, that'd be great. In 2009, we find out that Tony Dungy is coming to ESPN. Suddenly we start having conversations about faith. It wasn't just football or ESPN, it was about real life stuff. I said, I want to do more for God, but I just don't think I can do it here. I said, I'm at ESPN, I can't do anything for the Lord here. And Coach looks at me and he's like, you can be a light here in this place. And his assistant, Jessica, kind of jumps right in front of him. And she says something I'll never forget. And this was probably the turning point of my career at ESPN. She says, look at the mission field you have here in Bristol at ESPN. I said, mission field? She's like, yeah, look at all the different people that you can be a light to here. And she's like, if you don't get that, you're missing the whole idea of what it means to be a Christian. She said, God has you where you are for a purpose right now, right here. And until he calls you away, you are to bloom where you were planted. And I just got it. And I said, you're right. That's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing as long as I'm here.
The one thing I will say about him, of the many that you could, he is the one thing in life that we need more of. He is a genuinely nice person.
Yes, he is.
And he's done a great job for us over the years.
He's a good guy. He's done a great job for us. He will be missed.
I just knew God was calling me somewhere to do something more for him. That's all I knew. And then Sports Spectrum comes along, and the opportunity to build that brand up and to be a part of a podcast where we can tell the stories of sports and faith is kind of everything that I really thought I was supposed to be doing 8-9 years ago. So I said to them, I'm all in on this podcast. I will produce it for you. I will put it together. I will put a social media strategy together. I'll book all the guests for you. I said, this will be great. And they said, well, guess what else you're going to do? We want you to host it. And I said, host it? I said, I haven't been on air in 20 years. And we welcome Benjamin Watson, Baltimore Ravens tight end, to the Sports Spectrum podcast. Benjamin, how are you? It's been amazing to hear the stories that the people I've talked to have had to share. The first episode we did was with Marlins pitcher named Adam Conley, and the interview took us into those moments when their teammate, Jose Fernandez, was killed in a boating accident, tragically, in the middle of a season. And Adam Conley, this 24-year-old rookie, hears the story and recognizes in his strong faith that this is a moment to point people back to the Lord.
I don't know if I yelled it or what. I don't know what it sounded like coming out of my mouth, but I told every guy in that room that Jesus is the only way. We will all die, and Jesus is the only way to heaven, and that it's real, and that this is happening.
There are Hall of Famers and legends and people who have played in baseball circles and are the best that they've ever been, that are standing there listening to this 24-year-old rookie tell their entire team of who Jesus is. And so when I hear that story, it gives me goosebumps because that's exactly what this podcast was created for. Stories are powerful. And if your story, my story, their story, his story can impact one person, not only for God, but can just give them a hope, give them a peace, give them a faith in something, and can encourage them, then man, we got to tell it. When I look back at my life, my career, my life with my family, everything, I see it and I just say, you know what? God is good. His plan is perfect. And all we have to do is just walk in that walk of faith and obedience. And it just takes us to places we could never have imagined.
Man, it is great to have you here. I'm so blessed to have you, and this is going to be really great.
Thanks to Jason Romano for sharing his story with us. Also, he has a book out called Live to Forgive. Came out here recently. You can find it where all good books are sold.
That's right.
Wherever that may happen to be. All right, time now for Warm, Hot, and Fuego. Usually we're talking top 3 athletes of the week. College season's pretty much winding down. We're winding down. Last Warm, Hot, and Fuego of the year. That's right. Male athletes of the year. Rhett has chosen the top 3 male athletes of the year. And Rhett, we're going to begin with Warm. Take it away.
You know how I like to do fun things, like put in food or some geography lessons.
Sure.
Okay, food this time.
Okay.
National Donut Day in this week. Yeah. So I thought I'd find some donuts that, kind of go with where they're from. Okay. Kevin Mendoza on the soccer team. He is our warm athlete. Down there in Mexico City, Mexico, they have what's called buñuelos. It's a fried dough ball. They got cinnamon on there and all that kind of stuff. It looks really tasty.
Okay, I can do that.
You get that with a cup of coffee down there. I think you'd be doing pretty well. But this guy, midfielder, so talented, love to watch him play, so creative. And whenever, your strikers really are the kind of guys that get the limelight, but this is a guy that it orchestrates really everything. His footwork is unreal. He was 3 for 3 on penalties this season. And one of the prettiest goals all season long was when he just seemed to walk through the defense and just wheeling and dealing, cross-grain shot. Had 10 goals, first team Big South. And I think with him coming back, along with our guy who was really close, Bayou. Yeah, I think they're going to be set up well for the A-Sun.
Can't wait. All right, not finally, we'll get there. Warm, too hot. I'm jumping the gun. Who's your hot athlete?
Alejandro Perlaza Zapata.
Yes.
What a great name.
First onto the scene here in the last couple of months.
He's just been unreal this season. Yeah, you're right. When he broke 5 records in one meet, you started to get a little bit of attention. Colombian record, Big South, Liberty meet, and facility record. All said and done in one meet. He's going to Eugene, 44.86 in the men's 400, 4th best in the NCAA time-wise this season. Okay, get to the donuts. Are you ready?
Yes, quickly.
This one is called a bunelo, and this one is slightly different, alliteration of this donut. It has small white cheese curd inside and like a parsley mixture.
Yeah, don't
It's for Christmas. It's kind of bizarre.
So.
Okay, let's go here in Fuego. Yes. Buckshot Calvert. And here's the thing. Yeah, it
Top
is.
athlete of the year.
And some people are going to say, what are you talking about? The record was 6-6, and that would be honest, that's average, be honest with you. But just this guy, his performance, the person himself, Buckshot, an incredible season. 3,363 yards. This guy is just a 142.3 efficiency rating, broke the touchdown record. I think he tied the amount of completions record. So he himself, for a sophomore, second-year guy, bursting on the scene, had a tremendous season. And all right, the donuts really quick. They have Mojo Donuts down in Florida. They have a maple bacon log.
Appreciate that,
Looks
Rhett.
good.
I'm hungry. Great job. I'm going to miss WEF. We'll have to wait now till next year. I'm trying not to get emotional. All right. Hey, still to come, there can only be 5. We bring you the top plays from the month of May, including a game-saving snow cone, and you know how we feel about snow cones. Stick with us. Game on, coming right back.
Since 1971, Liberty's had one mission: training champions for Christ. Our standard is excellence with integrity, and we want to equip you with the resources you need to achieve your personal and career goals. We, the aviators of Liberty University, are committed to becoming leaders of distinction because we are men and women who want to serve others and change the world for Christ. Join us on campus and you will learn to fly using our fleet of 26 aircraft and practice in FAA-certified simulators. But most importantly, you will gain the knowledge and experience professional recruiters are looking for. At Liberty University, you will graduate as more than just a pilot, technician, or drone operator. You will become a champion for Christ.
Welcome back to Game On. You know, the month of May has come and gone. 31 days packed of just springtime fun out in the flowers, Matt and I. But somehow, through that all, we managed to choose 5 plays from this month that stood above the rest.
Yeah, the Game On Top 5, that's what we call it. And I got to give you a quick spoiler alert. Most of these come to us from the Diamond this month. So now that you know what to expect, let's go ahead and get after it. Rhett, lead us off. Play number 5.
May 20th, Game 1 of the regional final between Liberty and South Carolina. Jasmine Click going after it. She's going to get it and take out a little bit of that wall. A little face fill in there. Great job by her holding on to it.
2 hands.
Yeah.
Watch that, kids.
Key. I love it. That is key. You know, you got to teach your kids that.
That's right. Fundamentals, kids. All right, play number 4. Head to baseball now. Liberty and Radford, Big South Tournament. Check out Tyler Gallison. Make it like Brooks Robinson. The diving play, the long throw across in time. Incredible defense from Gallison. Now,
beauty.
There may be another appearance from Gallison in this top 5. Might want to stick around.
Let's go to the track and the Colombian Comet.
That's it.
Is that
Can we trademark that?
I think we should.
Yeah, Colombian Comet.
Fantastic, Matt. Alejandro Perlaza Zapata. We talked about him earlier, but this performance at the Big South Championship, it just requires multiple talking about.
Tell me more.
Turning in a 400 meters that broke the Colombian record, Big South record, Liberty record, meet and facility record. Definitely worthy of the top 5.
It's like a broken record. All right, number 2, back to softball. First game of the NCAA Regional. Scoreless tie in the 6th. Bases loaded for Hofstra, and Taylor Hoffman saved the game. Snow cone grab. Snow cones are delicious. That catch is quite tasty as well. An incredible catch by Hoffman, and the Flames would go on to win that in extra innings. She saved the game. May have well, in some ways, extended the season. So great catch by her. But as great as snow cones are, and we can all agree, if you don't like those, you're un-American. We do have one play that's even better than that.
Yeah, you teased it early on that we could see Tyler Gallison maybe once again. Here it is. Play number 1, Big South Tournament elimination game. Flames taking on Radford, tied top of the 10th. Gallison is going to go yard. Look at that catcher. Great job there by the backstop.
Yeah,
what a beauty, Matt. Good job. But, you know, you got to think about it. No better way to kind of, you know, we're exiting the Big South. You take it to Radford with a walk-off. It's been a great rivalry. We'll see you later.
See you later. Adios. Yeah, great finish. Congrats to Tyler. We're about out of time. Game on LU. Hit us up on social media. He's Rhett. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching. See you right back here next week.